Welcome back, everybody, to your first, second, and now finally your third stimulus check is here. The relief package, the CARES package, American Rescue Plan, PPP, targeted advance grants, executive orders. We talk it all here, including financial education and building wealth strategies. It is Monday, March 1st. Happy Monday, everybody. It is a huge week for the Senate. There's going to be a lot of things going on because the new bill just passed. The American Rescue Plan just passed in the House. We're going to talk timeline. We're going to talk about what's next, a little bit of what's inside of it. We have some urgent news to talk about with the PPP program and more information on EIDL, targeted advance grants. Let's get straight into your news. Welcome back, everybody. I am Edward Bilder. To all my loyal subscribers out there, welcome back for another video. And if you are joining us for the first time today, welcome. Consider becoming a subscriber. Do us all a favor. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Spread this message to everybody. Smash the old like button if you think we're doing a great job. You can join us on other videos where we talk building wealth strategies, financial education, passive income ideas through real estate, royalties, and the stock market. You can check those out on other videos as they come out. We finally had the bill passed in the House. Big news, and it's a huge week in the Senate because there is a lot of moving parts that the Senate's going to have to deal with because we do know that some things passed over the fence, was thrown over the wall, and now the Senate is going to have to deal with it. So we're going to talk some updates as to what's inside the bill, talk some timeline information of how the Senate's going to handle this and when it's going to reach back at the House. We're going to talk some urgent news on PPP, very important news on PPP when filing and for gross income adjustments. You're going to want to hear this. And we're also going to talk about some things around EIDL, targeted advance grants, what's inside the new bill in terms of extra money, extra $5,000. Let's get into it. We're going to start this off by talking about what is inside the bill. Now, this American Rescue Plan is a $1.9 trillion plan, reconciliation. I mean, it's huge. It's contained with $1,400 stimulus checks. That is for everybody filing between the $75,000 for singles up to $100,000. $150,000 for joint up to $200,000, and then it just drops off a cliff to nothing. Okay, $1,400 checks are going to go to everybody, including dependents and adult dependents. Pretty awesome stuff. There's also child tax credits in here for $3,000 for children from the age of 6 to 17, and $3,600 for children under the age of 6. I made a whole video on this about reoccurring checks and how you could calculate how much reoccurring checks you will see. If you have 7 kids, you get like $1,850. I mean, it's pretty cool. And if you have like 4 or 5 kids, you get like $1,000. So check out this video right here on reoccurring checks. The bill also contains dependent tax credits, unemployment extension from March 15th through September, and add $100 on top of it. Previously, the boost was $300. It will be now $400 from March 15th through September. $15 billion for EIDL. We're going to talk about the targeted advance grants later on here in the video. $25 billion for restaurants and bars. $30 billion for rental assistance. That is fantastic news. Paid leave for government workers and postal workers. This is $570 million for 600 hours, approximately 15 weeks, if you need to be home taking care of your children or adult dependents related to something with the virus. PPP will get $7.25 billion. We have urgent news on PPP coming up next. $50 billion for COVID testing, $19 billion for public health, $16 billion for vaccine distribution, $350 billion for state and local funding, $90 billion for transportation, $47 billion for FEMA, $11 billion for airlines, $130 billion for education, $5 billion for EBT. COBRA subsidies will be provided to keep you on health insurance if you have to be off of work. $15 minimum wage is inside the bill, and this is pretty much the throwing it over the wall for somebody else to deal with. Now, this is going to have to get modified out because the parliamentarian has already declared that this can't fit inside the rules. The Senate knows this. The House knows this. So they're going to be debating on what to do with the $15 an hour. Kamala Harris has been ordered by President Biden not to push to overturn, and so far the Senate is saying that they are not going to overturn the parliamentarian, but it also talks about corporate tax increases for a bit of an incentive to encourage the corporation to raise the wages on their own up to $15 an hour. So we're going to follow that closely. There's going to be a lot of updates around this, so you're going to want to catch us daily to see what that's all about. Now, if everything goes well, okay, over the next 3 weeks, this thing could be signed by March 15th by the president, and we would not see any lapse in unemployment. However, I think a more likely scenario, because it's already scheduled on the House's calendar for March 23rd, they're going to bring it back for a vote, because on March 26th, the House is going on a 3-week recess. So they want to get this done. Now, the Senate, all eyes are on the Senate right now because they have 3 weeks to get this done. 2 weeks in which they'll be pushing it through amendment processes, and we know that's going to happen because of $15 an hour. So the likelihood of this being signed by the president is pretty close to March 26th. We may see about a 2-week lapse in unemployment, and stimulus checks should be flowing by April 15th, right around tax time. That's pretty great news. Let us know in the comments if you received the email yet from the Targeted Advance Grant email, what month you applied, and if you got any grant, if you got any advance from the CARES Act days. We're trying to track some data here for all of our viewers. This bill is bringing another $15 billion to the Targeted Advance Grant email section, and it's bringing new stipulations. It's going to send you an extra $5,000 in some cases. All right. So the first 28 days will be used to handle all of the priorities 1 and 2. That's everybody out there who is in a low-income community, suffered a 30% reduction in gross receipts, and is 300 or fewer employees. This is to cover the balances of priorities 1 and 2 if the first $20 billion was short. Now, there are some new definitions. There's some new rules that are coming out with this bill, and it's basically providing extra money, extra $5,000. It's called a supplemental payment, and it's going to send money to severely impacted businesses and substantially impacted businesses. The new rules are you still need to be inside of a low-income community, so that rule didn't change. But the new rules are a 10 or fewer employees, and then 2 stipulations. A 50% reduction in gross receipts will be handled to distribute an extra $5,000 to applicants after 28 days. After 42 days, a 30% reduction in gross receipts will be extended to applicants to give an additional $5,000 to. Pretty awesome stuff. It's going to only go as long as funding is available after handling the 28 days of the shortfalls from priorities 1 and 2, and then of course 50% following by 30%. So that's pretty awesome stuff. Let us know in the comments if you were a PPP applicant from CARES Act days, or if you're joining us for the first time and you're a PPP applicant for your first draw in the round 2 process. Let us know where you are in that process. Let us know if you received your draw 1 or draw 2, or let us know if you're waiting to receive your draw 2. Right? Maybe you're stuck inside the portal waiting for some application process to occur. All right, so urgent news. Urgent news, you need to hear this about PPP because we're basing this off of some historical information that we discovered when farmers file for PPP with their Schedule F. They are so far the only applicants that have been allowed to make any adjustments to the PPP loan amounts, and also were allowed to make adjustments to use gross instead of net income. Okay, like Schedule C's now should be using gross instead of net income. And we've already seen 1.9 million applications from round 2 where everybody filled the form out with net income, right? So it's begging a lot of questions to what is going to happen next. And so historically, we can follow what happened with the Schedule F for the farmers and really observe what the SBA did in their situation, because most likely they will just copy that, right? They're not going to reinvent the wheel here. They're just basically going to copy what is happening with the Schedule F forms and create a system that follows it for the Schedule C form filers. Okay, so there is one constraint, and this is the urgent news. One constraint that would prevent a farmer, Schedule F filer, a farmer, from getting any adjustment to their loan amounts, whether it was from net to gross or whether it was to ask for more funding. The one constraint was if they filed for forgiveness for the round 1 and have been approved, they were not able to go back in and file for any additional funding. It basically said, your account has been closed with the SBA, you've been forgiven, all of your debts are satisfied, and basically we're done, right? Your account's closed. And so they couldn't go back in and file for a second draw 1 because you're only allowed to get one draw 1, right? So as far as draw 2 goes, these farmers realized this and they left their forgiveness open. Okay, so they didn't apply for forgiveness on draw 2 because it prevented them from making any adjustments. So the message is, if currently you have a forgiveness application in and it is not approved by the SBA and it's still with your lender, get that withdrawn as soon as possible, because everybody watching right now is a Schedule C filer or some kind of small business filer, and you most likely filed off of your net. The only way you can go back and adjust that draw one from CARES Act days or now round 2 PPP days is if your forgiveness application has not been approved. So go and withdraw it now, okay? There's plenty of time to get your PPP forgiveness done. It's not as urgent as everybody believes, okay? You can get this done over time. And they're only making the rules easier. This new administration is somewhat making the rules easier for forgiveness. So we're going to see more things evolve here as we move forward. And it might even be like, hey, check a box and you're forgiven completely, right? maybe even over the $150,000 that's currently set at right now. So stay with us. We're going to have a lot more information on this. We are going to track this on this channel, and we're going to get you your news daily. So stick with us so that you don't miss out on something, because it is time to get our funds. It is time to get back to normal, and it's time to start investing again. Right now, you could check out in the description Webull and M1 Finance. Webull wants to give you 2 free stocks valued up to about $1,800 after you deposit $100 into the platform. And M1 Finance wants to give you a $30 sign-on bonus after you deposit $100 into the platform. You can take that $130 and invest it in any which way you like. I use both of these platforms daily. Webull's kind of cool. They have all kinds of interesting games. You could post inside your Facebook to invite your friends to join Webull, and they give you this chance to spin a wheel and win additional stocks. I win about $20 worth of free stocks every day, and then I just swap them out for whatever I want to invest in for that $20. I basically just trade them in and get different stocks. But that's my little trick. You could do that. You could do whatever you want with the free stocks if you want to keep them and use them to build your portfolio. That's fine too. Check me out on Instagram. You can find me in the description. Don't follow any other person asking you to meet them on Instagram. They are fraud. They're looking to scam you. And they've even cloned my face, putting some bogus phone number separated with parentheses. It's just total identity theft. So don't call any phone numbers or anything found in the comments. I think YouTube, you need to do a much better job at fixing this problem. I thank you all again, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.